Is Daniel lurking out there? Well, this is Grace's container building project, and I had gotten started on it and I forgot to hit the go live button. So this happens from time to time, but anyway, it just gave me some time to set up the job, so I'm not too boring. And let me know if my you're working as always, Daniel. Let me know if my background music, which is wind and rain and fire going and storming, is too loud. I like to have some noise to listen to. It reminds me not to talk so much myself, because some people say I'm annoying when I talk. I'm just kidding. I'm in one of those weird moods this morning. And Grace wanted her containers on pier footings. Why can't I find the middle? There it is. And so I put them on these posts on 10-foot centers. To carry this load of the roof with this LVL up here. I've got everything kind of white because when I print, it prints better that way, obviously. So sometimes I have to get it in a view where you can see. But anyway, I'm placing these pier footings. I've got these on 10-foot centers, and now I'm deciding how far. I don't want this pier footing like, you know, back here flush like that. I want it to come out where all this load is kind of centered. I think when I'll do it, but I'll keep it something standard like 6 inches. So let's see. 6. That's what I've got now. But I noticed that this back one was sticking out more. So I'm going to go 41 feet and then go check it. Yeah. That's what I thought. So it needs to come back. So there we go. Now what I'm going to do stuttering. What I'm going to do is I'm going to delete these, and then I'm going to copy just to make sure these are in the right position. We only need one in the middle on that side because the roof load is on this side. So I went and picked that one anyway, didn't I? Alright, so now we're going to come 9 feet. Let's see, is that right? Oh, it would be 9 feet minus 2 feet. Yeah, 7 feet. Daniel will have to help me do math. I want these 9 feet out to out. There we go. But I had to remember that they're already 2 feet wide, so I just had to move it 7 feet. Alright, so that is that side. Now, she wants 16 feet between the containers. So we should have a house line that we call it of when, you know, somebody would be texting me. It's probably somebody wanting to help me with my
Hey, it's Sean calling you back. Hope you're doing well. Based on your business done in Bradstreet score of 76, we did still have you pre-approved for up to a $500,000.
Yeah.
Start.
I'm sure you all get these spam calls, and I don't know how they do it. They have an unlimited number of numbers at their disposal, so they can continue to spam you for eternity. So I'm always getting these, your business can get a loan. I don't want a loan. I don't want to be in debt. Okay, so we know that our containers are 8 feet wide, and she wants 16 feet, so that's 34 feet. But we need 6 inches, so that's 35 feet. And that's quite a bit different, isn't it? What's the weirdest thing you've ever found when excavating? We found a cannonball once when we were digging footings, and it was near the guy. What's funny is the excavator claimed it as his, even though it was my project. So I don't know what he did with it. I told him we were actually near Missionary Ridge, and I'm probably going to get myself in trouble, but for saying this, I guess not. And I told him he needed to turn it into we weren't actually on national park property, it was private property, but I thought it would have been a good idea to turn it over to the military park, which is Chickamauga. I'm not paying attention here. I should have moved all this stuff with that. I would have saved myself a lot of trouble. And so that's probably the weirdest thing. And it was one of those, it wasn't a round one. It was, the big, almost like a mortar looking thing. It was probably 150 millimeters. I don't know. I didn't measure it. And I know they probably did the Civil War. During the Civil War, did they measure their? I guess they measured them by pounds, didn't they, Daniel? The like 10-pound cannon, 20-pound, 5-pound cannon. I think that's how they measured. And so let's make sure I'm doing this right. That is 34 feet, right? Or 35 feet. Yeah, and she wants 16 feet between them. And I measure from these corner blocks. She actually wanted 18 feet, didn't she? She wanted the ability to put a 16-foot door, and I remember. I'll turn the thunder down because when my brain has to start working again. Let's see. Let's turn these beams off for a second. What are they in? Beam, LVL, that's a good layer for them. But why are these, trying to figure out why these are more than 18 feet apart. It may be just how I was measuring. Let me lock that axis and then it says 18 foot 6 and a 16th. That's 8 feet. So am I doing the math right? 8 and 8 is 16. Help me figure this out, Daniel. 16 plus 18 equals 34 feet. And if I add 6 inches on either side of that, oh, I see what it is. Yeah. I see. This container needs to come over 6 inches. That makes sense. Six. That 6 was to the edge of my footing. All right, tragedy averted. I think this one was just, it had that hollowed out area in the back of it. Like it had a charge placed behind it, but not in it. It didn't have a charge inside of it. Why is that looking like that? Why is that looking like that? Why does that group have this line? Oh, is that okay? There we go. And then this dash line. Oh, that's the turn down footing line, so I don't need that anymore. That's from a I don't need these anymore either. Yeah. I can move my earth over. Just holding that. Something's inside that, keeping it from moving. Well, isn't that bizarre? What is going on there? This, sometimes you get gremlins in your drawing. Why can I not push that back any further? It's a mystery. Let's see if I can make it go. Well, that's just weird. Then I usually pull it out about 4 feet. Like that. Oh, it was this thing right here. Aha. Found you. Found you. Now it should push pull. Yeah. We tore down a store that was built in the late 30s, a couple years ago, and found a bowl of food with a lid under the slab. Well, that's weird. Was the food, what did it look like? You mean in containers or just like soup in a bowl? All right, so we have our pier footings and oh, we don't have our pier footings over here. Let's take these We will copy them over. And then I will mirror them. -1. And put them back. And this is where our 35 feet comes into play. 35 feet, because we want that to be accurate. So that when we start our drawings, our printed drawings, when we start dimensioning, we will have some accuracy. It was just a bowl with a lid, and it was just surprised. The food lasted 70 something years. It was some kind of beans. So the concrete, it kept it from oxidizing, or I guess it kept enough air out, oxygen out, to keep it from killing itself, dying. Let's see, where's my beams? Now, got to put my beams over there. These are 2 9¼ LVLs. For Grace, Grace is sounds like a lovely lady on the phone. She was very nice. And let's mirror these, because I want that. -1, I want that pattern. So this would be the 34 feet. This is our house line, we call it. 34 feet is where our trusses are going to sit. 34 feet. And why is that? That's weird. Why is that construction line not on top? Alright, let's do that again, because that doesn't jive with my senses. Let's go over here and get this axis locked on the red. You want it to be on the red axis, 34 feet, and then we'll check it again. Sometimes when you offset a line like that, there we go. Sometimes when you offset it, if you're not paying attention, you can get off axis, off the red, your horizontal axis, and you'll copy it 34 feet, but it'll be at a slight angle, and you can get yourself into trouble. And it just goes to show you that even though you have this high technology tool, you can still screw it up. So you'll see, I always use my shift key to lock the axis when I'm dragging these back. That's why I don't worry about it. I just grab it and go. See, I don't worry about it until I get down there close to where I can see. And then I'll come out here and make sure, there we go, I'm on my axis, and then I'll lock it. And then I go and put it in place. And that's the way I like to do my LVLs. I like to interlock the corners like that. Instead of just letting both of these run past it, I like to do it like this. Interweaving it. It not only looks better, it works better. It's easier to... Because if you're smart, you put these two up first, and you're face nailing into that one, and then this one overlaps this one, and you're face nailing. And when I say nailing, I mean screwing or lagging or whatever. You can nail them because they're going to be that's not the only attachment point, so. Sometimes I think it might be easier just to start from scratch. Because sometimes where you make your mistakes are when you're altering something and you're just thinking, oh, this will be easy, no big deal. And you get kind of complacent and you make mistakes. Let's see what Daniel's saying. It was just about, uh-oh, I made Daniel bored. Just kidding. So that's our basic structure, and how this works is these LVL beams take the roof load off of the container, which is not load bearing. You don't want to put a big old huge roof like this on the edge of these little channels or angles. Literally all they do is take like a 2-inch angle and they weld the roof to it and the wall panels, right? And that's it. So I mean, it has some structural quality, but not. And the main problem you're going to run into too is that since these aren't designed to carry roof loads, they're designed to carry floor loads. That big channel on the bottom, carries the floor, and then these posts on the corner are all, when the containers are stacked, all the load is put on the 4 corners. And then there's actually a space between the containers when you stack them. So what I was going to say is that you're going to have a tough time with if you have a building inspector, if he sees this and he sees these posts at 10 foot on center and he sees these LVLs, then you're not going to get any pushback. He's going to know that you planned your project properly and considered all of those things. And what am I looking for? I was going to show you how I normally I have these LVLs. They're normally when I bring them into the drawing, they're typically about that color, and it's kind of weird, so I always turn everything to where when I print it, it will just be black and white. So you don't have a load of color, a load of ink from your printer to print them. It costs you as much to print a set of drawings as it would to get it drawn up. That ain't right. Let's see, now let's do a roof. Checking for comments. I wish I had some kind of overlay that, like, for comments that would come in here and overlay SketchUp. That would be handy. Somebody needs to invent that. Just like a little pop-up chat window that takes the chat from YouTube. Alright, so before we do the roof, well, we'll know what it is. Now, I like to use my Medique Truss extension, and because I know Nathan who developed it, and he's a cool guy. He's a smart guy. He's an engineer. So when you use his trusses that there's some knowledge behind it. It's not just a fancy computer program. Let's see, top chord pitch, we want to do a 312 because I talked to her about that. We want 24-inch overhangs, and that's all good. 40 feet is correct. Gable in trusses, yes. Gable spacing, advanced, yes. And we're going to put I like to use my own metal roofing, but I'm going to show that one for now. And what else? Structural outlookers. Yes. Horizontal. And we'll just say submit. We'll just submit that for now. Oh, I didn't mean to turn the gutters on, but oh well, we can turn them off. Well, she might want gutters. Must have the roof truss layer turned off. That's weird. I had the entire roof. I had the whole thing turned off. That's weird. Oh, there's my metal roofing that I brought in that I like to use. I'm going to turn it off for now. And I'm going to turn off, let's see, I'm going to change this siding here to something vertical that I like. I don't like this lap siding. Let's see, metal 12, let's see what that looks like. Yeah, I like to use like a vertical siding on these long gables like this, and these short ones. I like to use the vertical, but the homeowner can do what they like. It's America. All right, so we are getting close. I think I have to do. I'm going to turn off this. I don't like, one thing I've talked to Nathan about, the guy who developed this extension, is doing a roofing that actually has line. This is a texture. You can't tell, but it's actually just an image. Okay, it's an image on a face. And what happens is when you go to print the drawing, that either, if you leave it turned on like that, that'll turn out just black, you know, or really dark gray, and use a lot of ink to print. So what I do is I turn that off. Metal cladding, roof cladding. Oh, I gotta put my layers. What happens in 2021, SketchUp came up with these folders, which are really handy to what happened to floor, which footings, which comes in really handy to organize all your tags, your layers. See, because you can just close the folder, and then you can turn off whole, groups of tags at the same time, like wall or whatever. So I like to organize mine with site being 0, foundation, wall, roof, containers, and then I usually have a floor one. Oh, I know what happened. I accidentally deleted, or when I cleaned up this drawing before I started, I got rid of all the unnecessary, or I cleaned it up. When you do that, it'll purge things that aren't used, and I forgot that it purges these folders that don't have anything in them. So now if I do that, let's see, this is supposed to be a folder. And did I make it a tag? Yeah. I hit the wrong button. And why does it keep doing that? Probably because I keep hitting the tag button. There we go. So the way I like to organize my folders is site is 0, Foundation's 1, floor is 2, 3 is wall, 4 is roof, and in this case 5. This one kind of got messed up a little bit, I think. Anyway, well, I just numbered them and then put them in the order that I want. That way in my mind, now I can put this floor sheeting, which I think is part of the containers, in floor. And now we're all nice and neat and organized. See if we have any other questions or comments. Daniel, I think, left. I bored him to death. And so now I need to fix this roofing because I don't like this. I like my metal roofing, which I basically tried to mimic the 5V10, which a lot of people, the crimp, 5V crimp, which a lot of people use. But when I print my drawings, you see, it'll come out as just lines and not a dark mass. And so then what I have to do is edit this, because I had this on another building. Let me get it down here where I can work with it. Did I mess it up? I thought these were components. Oh, they are. I see what happened. I'm on the other end. I'm on the cut end. There's a sheet on the end that has to be cut. And what I usually do is leave a little gap right here at the top. Not that big, but and when I get out of this edit mode, you'll be able to see. Just want to leave a little gap so that, and what we do also is we leave a little gap in the decking, the roof decking right there, so the air can flow out the ridge. We'll usually leave about 1 inch on either side to give you a couple inch. You don't want to make it too big because you'll lose your ability to screw down your roof cap, which is up here. That's what we're going to do next. I think this something's weird. I don't think my roof overhangs are right. Edit. Let's see. I didn't mean to hit regen. I meant to hit edit. Should be. I think it must be 16. Yeah, gable overhang should be 24. Thought something looked funny. There we go. And somehow I got that. That's why I put that guideline there a while ago, because sometimes you get in a hurry, you won't slide it down evenly. I'll have to put this on the this is supposed to be a component. Yeah, and this, no, I guess it's not. Dang on it. These are all supposed to be components so that when I edit one of them, I forgot to do that in this drawing. So this is supposed to be a component. Now what I can do is copy it and mirror it. I grab that middle one and -1. And then grab it. Just like that. And for some reason, what did I do? Oh, good Lord. Did I not mirror it properly? -1. Why is that diving down into the roof? Doesn't make any sense. This side's not doing it. Alright, we're gonna start over. This is the kind of stuff that kind of drives me crazy a little bit. This is a component, so why did it not? Oh, my drawing's lagging here. I may have a gremlin. You know, I spend a pretty decent amount of money on computers, and it doesn't seem to matter, because one of the frustrating things to me about SketchUp is, and this is what I've heard, is that it literally only uses a single core of your 7 cores that you have available. And since I'm not a computer expert, I'm gonna mirror that, and that should not dive into the decking. There we go. See how it's not going down into the decking. Don't know what I was doing in the mirror process. While I was mirroring it, something was happening. And that's why you got to keep an eye on the stuff as you do it, because you don't want those little mistakes to add up as you go along. Now I'm going to mirror this way. And you might be wondering, why are you mirroring it instead of flipping it around? Sometimes it's better to mirror it than flip it around. And I want this to be out away from that a little bit. so that it doesn't show through. Now I can take the I thought I had made all these. I need to grab all these and then exclude out the okay, good. I'm not, they're separate. So see, when you think this is quick and easy, I mean, it can be, but usually it's not. It's work. I'm going to put that right there, and then I'm going to move it back when I can see better. And what I'm going to do is measure how far right there. And then we can put our roof, our ridge cap on. And why did that not get copied? Brother. Let's see. That's a little trick I learned. Let's go back. So when this thing, when it was in a group, you see how it's in a group on a plane like that? You can't mirror it when it's like that. See? You can mirror it at that plane, on that plane, but you can't mirror it horizontally. So if you'll explode it, just explode it and then regroup it, it will group it. You see, now it's on a horizontal, its axis is changed to where you can grab the middle point and -1 and mirror it. And this is a cut sheet, you see, so the panel spacing, I couldn't just flip it around because it would look funny. Now we just have to fix our metal cap. And we will be good. I usually put it right here and raise it up a little bit, like 1/4 of an inch, just so it doesn't bleed through those lines. no comments. It's everybody did my fire burning and my storm put people to sleep. That's funny. Let's see. Can't view, edit, delete guides. I think all I have to do before I do the drawing, the paper drawings, is I need to fix the bracing. So let's turn off the metal roofing and the sheeting, the roof decking, and somewhere is some bracing. There we go. Now this is kind of hard to see because of all these lines, but basically I gotta get this over here in the center. What is that doing? Yeah. And I'm going to try to show this where you can see it. So what happens is, let's see, this goes up here. Y'all have to adjust this. You get your purlin on top of your bottom cord, and that will butt in. Oops, not that. And then this brace, y'all have to lower it. And then let me go see what I've got on this end. That's correct. Yes, that is correct, Bob. And so what will happen is you'll have your braces, and this one, this was on a taller roof because the roof pitch, the building was wider, so that means the roof was not going to be as tall. What you'll do is you'll take and nail that 2x4 on the side of that house line truss, and then nail it beside your purlin down here. Is that actually against it? It's not actually against it. Let's move this over. What happened? I'm moving this over to here. Is that right? All this stuff in the way, it's hard to see, isn't it? Yeah. And then, so what happens is you'll nail this brace to the house line truss. And for now, we'll just show it like this. There we go. And then this will get cut off. But what this does is gives you lateral bracing, against wind, and mainly wind, but some seismic too. That didn't work. I want to be right here. Let's just make this easy. We'll go around this side where I can see better. Yeah, why is that not? Something's weird. Oh, isn't that funny? It looked like I was going horizontal, and I kept thinking, why is it on that axis? I want to be on... Why am I having a hard time here? Is this brace on some weird axis? Yeah, I can tell. Isn't that funny? Yeah, that's what it was. SketchUp is really intuitive if you know how to operate it. So, see, now there's my red axis. See, in that line, I can tell the line was not on that face because it was dark. There we go. So what you'll do is then you'll nail that brace into the side of that purlin. And then you have to decide, well, is it easier to just delete that one and copy this one, which I think it will be. Especially since I've got it. There we go. So what that does, if you got those angle braces on each end, and so what you do is when you start setting your trusses up, they're all laying down like dominoes, and you'll raise up your house line truss first, which is this one with the gable studs in it, and you have to set enough trusses. You'll have to set 3 or 4 trusses to get this started. But once you do, then you can get this brace going and get this in plumb. And then as you're raising them up, what you do is you take these blocks. Have I got them in a group? I don't do it. That was silly. I should have put those in a group. No biggie, I can do it right now. And so what these blocks are doing is helping you space as you raise each truss. Let's see, and this goes, they go up underneath the bottom cord. And they should be like that. So you cut them 25.5. You cut these blocks 25.5, and they need to slide down some. They'll go down far enough to where you can nail them. Okay, and this is how some carpenters cut them to where they fit between the trusses, and some don't want to fool with that. And it's easier to nail them if they're like this on the bottom. You can just take your nail gun and reach up and shoot them, but they need to be down far enough to where you can get to them, with the nail gun. And so you'll stand each truss up one at a time, and each time you stand a new truss up, you'll nail a new block on the bottom. And what that does, if they're cut exactly 25.5, it keeps these spaced on 24-inch centers. And see, there's several different ways of doing this. Back in the 70s and 80s, we would lay a 2x4 on top of the trusses with a layout on it, with a 24-inch layout. And then we would leave that brace there, and when we brought the plywood up on either side, back then we had plywood. What do you think? What do you know? But now it's OSB, obviously. So now as we bring the OSB up on each side, then we would take that 2x4 up and, knock the nails over and throw it on the ground. Well, this method's kind of become popular now because these blocks just stay in place because they're up underneath here and out of the way. So now, like these, I see I did these. Also, like my house line truss dropped so that these outlooks. I was going to edit this. These lookouts or outlooks, he calls them. Structural should be yes. Where is it? Here we go. Right here. Oh, vertical. That's what it should be. These are a lot stronger, and then you don't have to put them on so close together. You can put them on 4-foot centers. Where is outlooks? Yeah, right here. And if you'll put them on the right spacing, they'll be at your sheeting joints, like that. But these are really strong because your outlooks are cantilevered. You have a dropped gable end truss, and all you have to do is tell well, I have it in the drawings. Remind your truss manufacturer that you want it dropped. Just say, I want dropped gable trusses, and they'll know exactly what you're talking about. So they'll drop them 3.5 or whatever this magic number is. Yeah, 3.5. Sometimes I forget that you think it's on a slope, so it's different, but it would be 3.5. They drop it, and what that allows you to do is to put your outlooks face nail it, right here, and then let this hang over, and this is cantilevered. You see, some people will just put blocks out here, and this is a lot stronger. So if you have any kind of snow loads, or you just want to be able to walk out there without your roof flopping on the ends, that's the way to do it. And so if we turn our roof decking and our soffit, I don't know if she wants a soffit or not, but we'll turn it on, and we'll leave the cladding off, and I'll turn my metal roof on layer on, and you can see we're pretty much there. So what I need to do is get with Grace and see what she thinks before. What I normally do is I'll take this siding, once everything is cool, I'll take this soffit off. Roof off. Trusses. Roof framing. Soffit. I thought I turned soffit on. There we go. I'll grab this. And I'll pull it down where it covers that. That would be about 9 inches. Yeah, so it covers that LVL. You don't want to leave your LVL exposed to weather. But what I've learned is to not get into too much detail until I go over things with the owner, because if I have to change the roof pitch or something like that, then this will regenerate itself, and I'll have to change that again. Okay, so let's turn that. And there we go. if I have any comments. The comments just went away, just died. Alright, so that's good timing. So what I'll do, I need a new thumbnail too, so I'm going to capture that image. And that'll be Grace's thumbnail. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed watching this, and anybody have any questions or comments right here at the end? I'll wait a few seconds before I close this out. But you can see under here, now the roof bracing, when you come, when the roof manufacturer sends you your trusses, there will be a bracing shown, and you need to follow that. So I show it just to show the fact that you need it, and then the roof truss manufacturer will show the actual bracing. I'm trying to decide how much I want to look up under here when I'm taking this picture for the thumbnail. Okay, the audience is quiet, and so I need to be, and we will see you next time. Thanks.